Forex shark. Is the animal farm really a fantastic thing, or is it a Black Swan event? Just want to start this out by saying I've heard of Black Swan event. So thanks to Potter, she'll be actually explaining what the heck it is. Welcome to the channel where we build financial power. My name is Matt, and this is
Potter.
Where we talk about this world of DeFi and documenting our journey on this trippy world that it is. So
super trippy.
Black Swan event. First of all, how you feeling over there? How's things?
As a person who has to live off of the drip ecosystem, times are tough. So, it's like, you know the system works, and you don't tell people to go to it, but, it's just hard, trying to say, hey, I'm going to live a DeFi life and then actually live it. I mean, it's a challenge. And when you see an ecosystem that works, that you've tested it, you've looked at it. I mean, I missed measuring the metric on the liquidity. Like I didn't realize it doubled. So that was hard. So how am I doing? Not super well.
When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. But it's all transparent and honesty here. So Black Swan event. I've heard it. The only thing I know is it has something to do with the chart, and it goes like this. There's something like that. So,
so I didn't learn about Black Swan events until I got into crypto last year. So I'm not an expert, but I have noticed that Drip has gone through about 4 of them. And it survived. So a Black Swan event is things that you can't possibly predict all come together at one time to just, cause something to go bad. Terra Luna. Somebody buys Bitcoin. Somebody says, hey, I'm going to do something. It all comes down. The same thing with a lot of the, Voyager? I know Mike, the investor, he used to be on that one. The thing when I was watching with him back then was, I was like, he was following Voyager, and Voyager was a part of the Black Swan event because it had a lot of holdings of Luna. But what was happening was the assessments were just looking at the charts only. They weren't looking at, what's the company doing? Have we heard from the leadership? What's the protocol that they're using? None of the stuff that we get from Forex was happening with Voyager. And I was just like, I would come back to Mike the investor and I'd look, and he would kind of still be just looking at the chart, and they blew up, and he had a lot of apologizing to do, but he grew up. He grew up a lot. So, but how could he think I'm in Voyager, Luna goes down, I'm okay. He didn't realize that the people had taken a lot of their stakes, leveraged it with Luna, and said, oh, well, we didn't necessarily need to tell you. It just happened. And now a person I know lost well over 5 figures, right, to the Voyager thing, because they thought that they had custody of it, and they didn't. It wasn't custody, like in Animal Farm where you have custody and you can own it, So if it comes out, I can get it out. I don't have to wait for Forex, to let me in and log in with an ID.
Well, yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah, like once the site is launched, once it's in production, then he can't pull it back. The thing that he did with the first one is it was like within the first few hours of launch, right? Or the first few days of launch, actually. So to your point, it deserves that. Well, but so now this Black Swan event, CPI data, election, the FUD with FTX and Binance.
Yeah, that's that whole thing. I saw that.
And it just took a toll on everything, including the fear of, the government not having the more conservative backing that to just stay away from crypto at all. Now you have a more unknown versus a certain of we're going to stifle everything that they do. Okay. And now with the election still on the line, you just don't know. So that's generally a Black Swan event. That makes sense.
That does. Yeah. And I did just a simple Google search, and I didn't realize that a Black Swan event was used outside of money markets or that. So Google defines it as Black Swan theory or events of a metaphor describe an event that comes as a surprise, like you said, that have a major effect and is often inappropriately rationalized after the fact with the benefit of hindsight. So yeah, got it. Okay. I didn't realize that. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Only reason I even knew about it was because it was on Netflix. There's a Black Swan thing. Everybody's like, oh, did you see Black Swan? I did not. So, hey, Ara.
What's going on, good sir? Appreciate you sliding by. I was thinking about this week of, part of the reason we do this, the main reason that we do the show is to document sort of our journey, and we're going along with it and whatnot. And I was thinking about, I was like, what points I want to make sure I want to bring up and this and that. And I was like, you know what? I don't have crap to say. And that's not in a good way or a bad way, but it's really just right now, it's just waiting, going through the motions and just waiting. There's now the animal farm's opened up, it's just sort of a holding pattern. Usually I feel like I have a few pieces and whatnot to throw in, but I feel like I'm just sort of waiting, just wait until the next day. Like, I know you're probably having a little bit of like, holy crap, uneasiness because, you're living off of DeFi, but have you had any of that lately, or is that just me?
Have I had what?
Just that, I guess just that, like, there's not much to say. We're just sort of.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm not sitting at my computer looking at stuff, researching anything, because it's in a holding pattern until Scratchy's, it's released, because until that utility, like I talked about on yesterday's show, until that utility is truly introduced for drip, it isn't geared to work as efficiently, because there's not 1 million drip tokens, there's 3 million.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the animal farm, so what it's starting to get to, Matt, is it's starting to move from just a general understanding of crypto and DeFi to a very technical understanding of it, both theoretically with finance as well as the programming and algorithms. And I don't care how smart you are, it takes time. That's a cognitive understanding. That's not one that you can go, okay, I'm going to read the book and I'm going to understand. Cognitive time. Like, so in programming, there's this language called Java. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh yeah. JavaScript. Yeah.
No, Java.
Oh, there's difference, Java and JavaScript. Okay.
Java, meaty. JavaScript, dainty.
Huh.
Right. So, Java, it's got hierarchical classes. It's got methods. It's very complex, and it's a compiled language. Java is not. JavaScript is not. So I could give you a big ass book on Java today, and you could go, I get it, but you wouldn't get it for a while because you don't have that cognitive understanding of it. Sure. You haven't seen it in use. You haven't seen people give you different variations of the understanding.
Yeah.
So what's happening now is the people who aren't technical are maturing. They're going through a period where they're like you're going, but at the same time, you're seeing stuff work, and you're going to go, oh, okay. And one of the biggest gaps that we have in this whole crypto thing is technical people and non-technical people, because the technical people have truly made crypto very complex, right?
Yes.
And so people say it's not rocket science, crypto is, right? And so getting that to not, it can't be, what we learned is it can't be, here's 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah.
People are far smarter than that if they're already in crypto.
Yeah.
Right. But it's more of, what do I do in a DeFi project when it looks like the traditional market, people are just getting out of a position, and you have another one that's supposed to help it? That's not normal.
Yeah.
Right. There's not supposed to be anything in finance. Like a Sears doesn't go down and they spawn off a bunch of convenience stores to supply the department store. What? That's not normal. So it shouldn't be normal in anybody non-technical on how to do that. Now with me, with systems like an email system or web server, I absolutely do that. That's the way I think. I say, okay, I've got one big one. I need others to support it. That's just the way that we think about. So the programming in the animal farm is the same way. It's saying, hey, we've got drip. Now, how do we support? But Black Swan event after Black Swan event after pause have caused things to be different, but the architecture is still working.
Yeah.
If it were not for the animal farm, the amount of drip that would be being printed right now would be ridiculous. And I do believe that, it's a lot about patience. And because as a developer, the game I'm playing right now is called Star Citizen. Star Citizen has been in alpha for about 8 years, right? It hasn't launched. They're like, we're going to go to beta. They don't ever go, right? And people play it. People are okay with signing out and signing back in. But if this was, released to the public, they wouldn't be okay with that. DeFi, although it's released to the public, is still in beta and alpha, right? And so it's a different level of patience and understanding. And what I'm thinking, my message in communicating needs to be more of, hey, here's what's actually happening behind the scenes. Let me see if I can bridge the gap between software development lifecycle and understanding DeFi. Because SDLC, which is soft development lifecycle, that is something that people in suits have to understand. They have to pass audits and they have to understand to explain to their board, how is this application running? Where are the security problems? I need to know. There are shareholders who need this information, right? So I think as we go through this, okay, it's all out. It's more of, why did Animal Farm not die during a Black Swan event, right? And that's where we get to, we don't bring up charts on this show, right? We talk about real stuff because charts, although, man, I've taken a chart course before, Matt.
I remember when you were talking more about it.
It's spooky. It's spooky the way those lines. It's spooky. So I'm not saying that there's nothing there, but you really have to use it as a practice. Like that has to be your thing.
Yeah.
And so, well, since that's not a thing, we have this technology in Forex's ecosystem that's well documented that shows how he keeps surviving Black Swan events. The first Black Swan event was when it was just drip. And everybody was like going, oh my God, Bitcoin is going to fail. Bitcoin is going to fail. Everything's going to fail. Drip's not going down. I want to be drip. Drip is the hero. And the price, shot up to maybe 8 or 10. I don't remember. But it was like, whoa. And then when everybody found out that Bitcoin wasn't going to die, sell. They just started selling and the price came right back down there around the 3s.
Yeah.
And then, like I talked about in yesterday's show, we made partnerships with companies that were supposed to provide the ability for us to have a utility for the drip token for the first time, right? But that wasn't during a Black Swan event. That's not why Animal Farm and drip are surviving during a Black Swan event. During this one, it's unique because now you don't have the ability for people to go, oh my God, where do we go? Drip's dying. I don't want to go to drip, which is not true, but they can go to the Animal Farm. Their interest in the Animal Farm is literally driving the ability to pay the people who are waiting for a Scratchy to come out.
Yeah.
That is a hard picture from somebody to just sit down with us and understand out of the blue. Yeah. How did I do? Did that make sense?
Yeah, without a doubt. And so you said you were talking about drip, right? As far as there was going to be somebody we were tying up with. Is that what you're talking about? Who was that? Because I remember that being the conversation.
Oh, yeah. There were two. One was B, and the other was WWE. It was like WWF theme.
Okay.
But there were just too many people, and
what were those? Were those exchanges or what were those?
Yeah,
Okay.
there were changes.
Okay.
They were just like Animal Farm.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I remember that.
And the people couldn't support it because, and it wasn't that they didn't have the funding, they didn't have the infrastructure, right? So when people came in with the bots, they couldn't do anything. Yep. So they ran out the liquidity like that, and those guys went, "Oops." Yep. We just believed that we could put up a site like Pancake Swap and get rich. We didn't think about security.
Yeah,
and that happened twice.
So something I was thinking about was this. Certainly there is a way. I know there is a way. How do you actually do that to go figure out when Drip is minting tokens and when it is not? You go on BSE scan?
No, you can go straight to the Faucet home. You can go right to the Drip homepage. It says it at the bottom.
Really?
It'll say amount of wallets. Well, it calls it users. Wallets, liquidity, transactions. And so I was freaking tracking the transactions.
You said it's on the Faucet homepage?
On the Drip homepage.
Sorry, the homepage. No, you're good. I'm gonna so you can see when it's actually minting versus not minting.
Yeah, I record the numbers.
Oh, okay. So there's not like a little section that says currently minting.
But I think that somebody has a TG or Telegram bot that will occasionally post when it does.
Okay.
But it's really interesting because the Animal Farm is successful again still. That is one of we're having a Black Swan event and people are going, unlike Drip, they're going, oh, Animal Farm's not going down. I'm going to Animal Farm, but then they don't realize how complex it is or where to go. They just know, hey, I'm making money.
Yeah.
Right? Because the AFP price did not plunge. Right? So that means that all of the mechanisms that he has working to maintain that liquidity and keep the price at a fair price is working. But Drip just got away from us because of the liquidity. But I do believe, especially, I love it when Forex is quiet. That usually means that he's up to something, and it's usually positive. So he's been quiet about Scratchy, and he told us months ago that it was already done. You know what I mean? But that was a Forex. It's already done. But I do believe that he's going to I think he's going to nail that roadmap. And so that is what I'm hoping, for. It's got to work out for me for the next 90 days.
Yeah, remember you saying
and then I return to the workforce if it doesn't. I just need to see some positivity because, with a full wallet, you can survive a Drip $2, right? But I don't have a full wallet. I won't get a full wallet until I think May.
Okay.
So that's not there. So I'll have a few months where it would be bad, but I don't see that it's going to be anything negative. I think the positives are there that, again, a Forex Shark ecosystem survived another Black Swan event. It's just not normal. It's not normal. Yep. And we can look at the liquidity that was there. It was like 129 at the start of the Black Swan event, and it's 130 million now.
In the Animal Farm.
In the Animal Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tells you that the investors are not going anywhere.
Yeah. So and something you and I didn't even talk about, and I know we haven't brought it up here, but it looked like $500 million had come into the Animal Farm on the day of the launch. That was simple coding errors, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
So it was not $500 million that was coming in.
I don't know if he put it all in and then shift. No, it had to be an error. It had to be an error because that's $400 million.
Right, that's just gone. Yeah.
Yeah, just left. Yeah,
that's something you and I hadn't talked about. So I was like, I'm gonna bring it up. So if you're feeling squirrely, slide on by. And Potter's been hanging in and doing the Thursdays, but I'll be here with her on Fridays. And we talk all about the financial power aspect. If you're feeling squirrely, slide on by. You got anything in closing?
No, thanks for sticking in. And I don't want, we should know. I'm gonna have to go back to work, maybe.
Right.
I don't feel like that. But we said, what were we gonna do? We were gonna be transparent and honest.
Absolutely.
And it's not fun because there are a lot of people like, ha ha, dummy, But I don't think I'm a dummy yet. I believe in blockchain technology. It's just like the internet. It's got a business use, and people just don't know about it yet. So, otherwise, it would be dead right now.
Yeah. No, anybody that's pointing and laughing, they're not even in the arena, so it doesn't really matter. I don't see them. That's fine with me. They can laugh if they want, but
that's positivity right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Slide on by. We'll be here. Builders, keep building.
Game on.